The stock market has been in free fall since the beginning of the year, and the Russia-Ukraine crisis the past week certainly has not helped. With Russia actually invading, a lot of that uncertainty is at least cleared up. So how will the stock market react? Sure, one might think that the uncertainty of what would happen in Ukraine has cleared up a bit, but it's actually an even more uncertain situation there right now, with them being at war. What different headlines we get could drastically affect the stock market in different directions, so from a pure emotional perspective, the stock market is probably going to be very volatile in the coming weeks. Looking at this from a more pure economics perspective, war is seldom good for business. Of course, the military-industrial complex are probably big fans of what is happening right now. Looking at the stock price of Lockheed Martin, we can see that they are back at all-time highs, one of the few companies that haven't had a decrease in stock price since the start of the year. The rest of the business world probably do not like the situation. Instability is generally not very good for profits. There is no telling where the sanctions on Russia will stop. Is it going to escalate into a full-on embargo? In that case, what will happen to companies with a lot of business in Russia? Think, what about McDonald's profits from there? It is a very large country, and losing it could have a material impact on many different companies. Depending on how strenuous the conflict is for Russia and how public opinion on Putin changes, the Russian stock market is probably going to keep nosediving, especially if sanctions keep coming. I mean, soon they will basically be back to medieval times with serfs working the fields. Just to put into perspective, the Russian index is back to where it was in 2014 before they illegally took control of Crimea. Additionally, what's going to happen with the gas supply to Europe? With the price of heating increasing, it could start digging into the pockets of European citizens, causing them to have less disposable income to spend on actual fun stuff. This would of course have a severe impact on many different consumer-facing companies. Luckily for this aspect, Europe is quickly approaching summer, so this should be less of a concern shortly. The one big uncertainty that is still there is if this will remain a regional conflict. If it escalates into a global concern, we all have bigger problems than the stock market, I would say. Einstein's misattributed quote, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones," is quite applicable here. It would probably give a lot of nice opportunities to invest into, but I hope I'll personally never have to think about investing into a wartime economy, especially these days. I don't like thinking about profiting from world-ending nuclear war. So in conclusion, the stock market is probably going to remain volatile. In fact, it's probably going to be even more volatile than currently. The direction it heads is going to be heavily dependent on the news of any given day. It probably should not affect the economy that much in the current state, but the stock market is still not going to be a fan of the uncertainty. If the situation changes drastically for the worse, this video of course goes out the window, but let's hope it doesn't and that Russia will leave Ukraine alone. Finally, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not investment advice and I am not your investment advisor. Frankly, just like with anyone else, don't believe anything I say because I have no idea what I'm talking about. Have a great day, everybody.